What's up, everyone? If you don't know my name, it's Dennis Bosher, and I am a man of many hobbies. One of them was photography. I decided to take my hobby to the next level. I wanted to start a business, get into photography, really start trying to make a living at it. You know, it's always awesome to do what you love doing for a living. So that's kind of where we're at. My business is called Refined Memories. If you're seeing this, you're probably watching it on my page. Feel free to share. Today I'm just going to walk you through. I found this trail here, and this is a trail that I have not walked down before up until recently, and I never even knew it was over here. And today we're going to walk through there, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through the process of what goes through my mind when I see something that needs to be photographed. What do I see as far as the composition goes? What goes through my mind, and what is attracting me to that subject? I'm here at Wayside Park, where I've been here many times. If you've ever seen my drone videos, I fly a lot here. This is just one part of the park that I have not explored. So I did go down the trail and explored a little bit yesterday, and that was the first time I'd ever even walked down the trail, and it was just, I was amazed that I'd never even been there. And it's a nice long part where you can walk all the way around and pretty much away from the park. But anyways, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get into the trail, and we will see what we can find. As I'm walking these trails, one of the first thing I'm looking for is light, and how that light interacts with different things. For example, that stump over there, how the light is hitting that stump could make for an interesting composition. Realistically, light is one of the most important parts of any type of photography, whether it's portraits, landscapes, woodland. Light plays a major role. And if there's no light interacting with your subject, whether it be soft light, hard light, partial light, it makes the subject a little boring. You've got to have contrast. Take this tree, for example. I love the way there's light shining on half of it, and then on this side there's a dark side. There's an interesting thing going on. And then in the middle you have this one tree right here in the middle, and if you look at the bottom down here, left of it is light, the right side of it is dark. So there's something interesting that's kind of going on with this cluster of trees. So I think we'll get some pictures of that and see if we can set something up that looks pretty nice. And then once I take the picture, I'll pop up the result on the screen so that you can see what I come up with after editing. Now here we have something a little bit different. It's not a tree, it's not a subject, it's a dirt road. And the thing I like about taking pictures of trails and dirt roads like this is they're kind of symmetrical. Like, you've got trees on the left, trees on the right, you've got the road that goes right down. There's lots of contrast in the road color and the edges of the forest. So the lighting's not amazing right here, but mainly because the sun is actually behind a cloud. But we're gonna see what we can do and see if we can capture a nice little picture here. And once again, I'll do my edits when I get home, and I'll have it up on the screen for you to check it out. But yeah, I love taking pictures of trails. I don't know what it is, like roads or trails, especially when there's a curve in it. And there's not really a curve here, but it's really the symmetry of the composition that I think will help it stand out a little bit. So yeah, let's see what we can do. As I was walking down the trail, I come across this little area right here, and the sun just went behind another cloud, so it's not quite as nice as it was, but I'm hoping that'll move on in just a second. But I noticed these humps in the land, these little hills, if you will. I don't know how well you can see them, but there's like a hill right there, and there's another little land structure that kind of just these oddities in the land. Plus there's this dead tree that's laying across there. And when the sun was out, it was kind of lighting up the trees back there a little bit. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes and we're gonna see if that light comes back out, which these clouds are not really cooperating very much today. It's not super cloudy, but there's breaks. I mean, it is kind of cloudy and there's breaks of sun here and there. But we're gonna wait a few minutes and see if that sun pops back out and I can see what I can do with this shot here. The light plays a big part in the photos I take a lot of times, but when there is no light and it's hiding behind the clouds, then there's not a whole lot you can do about it. And I don't know if you can see up there, but there's a huge cloud right up there hiding all of my light. So for the time being, in the next few minutes that I'm out here, or hour or so that I'm out here, light's going to be a limited resource. So we're going to have to find other characteristics that are interesting besides light. So it's kind of good. It makes you think. It makes you get creative. So let's see what else we can find. Okay, the light's actually trying to come back out. For this shot, I don't know if you can really see. Let's see if I can help you out. The road has these ruts. So I'm going to get kind of low on this shot. I'm going to go low to the ground. And I'm going to just kind of focus, and I can see where the light is on these things, and I need to hurry up before that light goes away. So we're going to take the camera, drop it down, see if we can get a shot here. Inspired once again. I was walking down the path and that tree right there in the middle of the path just pops out and says, "Take my picture." So that's what I'm going to do. There's something pretty cool about it. It does seem to stand out on its own, just the way it's just there, isolated, kind of by itself. The colors that are on the tree, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but there's lots of reds and oranges on there. I like the way it's centered. Like as I was walking down the path, that's the first thing I saw. But let's get this shot before the sun decides to go away. One important thing that I'll say that's kind of important, I think, whenever you find yourselves out on these hikes like this, just walking around looking for things to shoot, don't forget to look behind you. Often as we're walking along, looking at what's in front of us and what's around us, we're not paying attention to what's happening behind us. Because as we're walking forward, the scene behind us is changing. And I've noticed more than not, there's something interesting that's behind me. The light is hitting things a certain way, or a different way that makes things kind of appealing, that could turn into a good subject. Always make sure to look behind you. What have you walked by that the light's hitting differently than when you walk towards it? That's what I'm trying to say here. You never know what wonderful magic you could be missing out on. Speaking of magic, that's a pretty cool tree. Let's get it. As I was talking to you, I come across this in front of me. So let's see what kind of magic we can make with that. Literally just a few steps away from the last tree, which is actually right here to my left, I step in front of this beauty right here, and she's very majestic, and I think we're going to get some nice shots of that too. I really like how it spreads. It's the top of it just spreads out nice, and there's like patterns in every limb. There's different routes for every branch, and there's a little bit of color in there. The light's hitting it just right, so there's lots of beautiful things attracting me to this picture. So we're gonna snap a shot of it and see how she turns out. Alright, well, as we're heading along our nice nature walk, our trail, our hike, whatever you want to call this, I hear this trickling sound, and I think it's a creek, because there is a creek that runs through here, Sycamore Creek. But no, it's something much more different. Here, have a look. You see that? Oh, there's stuff falling. There's a culvert that runs underneath the highway. Pretty interesting subject. And over here we have something too. We have a big, drainage pipe, I suppose. So I'm not sure exactly how we'll compose this, but we're gonna try and get a couple shots of these nice features, and of course I'll do my editing magic and I'll have them for you to see shortly. Let's get it going. Well, guys, this is going to wrap up our little trail into the wilderness. I appreciate you coming along. I mean, this is a trail that I've come down. I didn't come this far last time I came, which was yesterday, but it was the first time I found it, and I have not explored this far. I didn't even go all the way. There was still another, I don't know, maybe 500 feet or 1,000 feet or so, and I'm like, time to go home. Turn around. Let's go back home. The clouds started grouping up, and the weather's not looking very promising, so I figure I should probably get on out of here before I get wet. I'm already dripping in sweat, so that doesn't help. But I appreciate you coming along with me, and I hope you kind of got an idea on the things that attract me when I take a picture. Anytime I take a photograph, there's got to be something about it that's different. It's got to stand out in some way. Sometimes I'll just take shots just to maybe I can make something out of it, and a lot of times if it doesn't look like it's there at that moment, it's usually not. Sometimes you can make magic happen, but usually if it's not there, it's just not there. But light has a lot to do with it, but it doesn't have to be just light. It could be just something interesting. It could be something that's isolated from everything else. It's just some kind of contrast, difference from the rest, something that makes it special. And that's kind of what I look for when I'm going out and I'm walking these trails and I see maybe a mushroom is standing out. There's not mushrooms, there's grass everywhere. So obviously I'm not taking pictures of grass. If it's unique grass, sure. If it's grass that stands out and it's maybe brighter or longer, or if it's just different in some way, then sure. But like a mushroom or something, if I see a mushroom, you don't see those all over the place. That I'll probably get a picture of, which I saw one back that way and I'm like, I'll let it pass this time. We'll give you a pass this time. Anyways, there's a lot that goes through my mind when I look for a photo in order to compose it. there's lots of rules as far as composition goes. There's the rule of thirds, leading lines, there's all that stuff. And I do take some of that into consideration, but the main thing is contrast, light, darkness, difference. That's really what goes through my mind. Is I need something that stands out. Maybe not that it doesn't belong, but just that it's special, that it has character and it has a history, it has its own story. And I feel like I take pictures of things that have a story. But anyway, I do appreciate you coming along, and I hope you enjoyed, seeing how I think. I hope you got a good idea of, what goes through my mind when I'm taking these pictures. And anyways, I appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you next time.